A heart without a soul cannot beat. A heart that cannot beat turns to ice. The ice hides what once was until the soul comes calling again to awaken what lies beneath the frost.
Well, Hermanthony's happen.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of Hermanthony's.
That pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, I think that took up most of the session.
Yeah, pretty much.
We had a brief little bit of RP right at the start. I forget exactly what was discussed then. But I distinctly remember us watching swaths of people get slaughtered by horse, baby centaur, demon hybrid fucking monstrosities.
Yeah, you at the start of the session, you continued your investigation a little bit. You went to the tavern and tried to. You went to the homeless shelter as well to try to figure out sort of who might have hired the ruffians who attacked the town hall or the not the town hall, the bank. You also then went to the bank to keep investigating a little bit. And overall, you didn't really find a whole lot. Yeah, you didn't really find a whole lot of information there. But as you were leaving the bank, Hermanthony's, you don't know exactly how many, just that you encountered, along with several city guards, seven Hermanthony's, of which you managed to kill 3. The remaining 4 ate their fill and escaped. And where we last left off, you were all in the town square, in the corner of the town square, nearish to town hall. 1 guard survived. Everyone else died. And you can currently hear Hermanthony cries on the wind. Though I will also remind you that before the Hermanthony started retreating, it sounded as though they were speaking to each other in a coherent language that none of you understood.
During the actual fight, they were like very coordinated in trying to get the captain of the guard. Is that correct?
Yes,
or am I misremembering? Because I did not have access to my notes.
They could communicate with each other.
Yes, they
were like a coordinated attack against her.
Yes, it very clearly was a coordinated attack. They also focused on the guards more than you. Yeah, and they could kind of tell when they were done. Like they definitely, the ones that you killed them because they got greedy. And you could definitely tell that. And as you're all in the town square here, you hear the cries start to fade into the distance. Wyatt just turns to you all. Okay, you guys go figure other things out. I'm gonna get this guy to the hospital. And he grabs the 1 surviving guard who is like on death's door still. His armor is like crushed around his chest. How I'm going to get this guy to the hospital and see if there's anyone else that I can help on the way. You go figure something out. And he grabs the guard and runs off towards the hospital.
If he gets eaten by a Hermanthony, I take no responsibility.
I mean, he left before we could really object to him.
So, currently there are several dead guards in front of you, including the captain of the guard. Are you leaving them there? Are you looting? What are you up to here?
I don't know. Who do you report the death of the entire police force to?
The
Mayor?
The mayor.
Okay. Let's go see the mayor.
All right. So, town hall is, pretty close by. You're in the town square. So you run on over to town hall.
Well, they're doing that. I'm going to be gathering the bodies and kind of covering them up so there's not like half-eaten bodies in the middle of town square visible for lots of people.
All right, so Morgrim works on that while Bastion and Thicket run over. Is Cranberry still out?
No, I probably retracted that.
Okay, so Bastion and Thicket run over to town hall, and as you get to the steps, there are more dead guards. And like it appears that the doors are not broken in, just swinging open in the wind, the cold night wind.
Oh no.
Can you remind me what we know about groups of Hermanthonies real quick?
You would know that typically Hermanthonies are solo creatures, but when they do get together, they will hunt together. They will gather up hearts, and then they will go back to their collective lair and vomit them into a pool.
Ah, yes, the pit, the flesh pit.
Yes,
the
vomit pit. And nobody seems to know what the purpose of this is, because the Hermanthonies have never been allowed to live long enough.
Well, time to disobey every horror movie rule and go in that building.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You enter, and you do definitely see more dead guards throughout. And
is this building big enough for a Hermanthony to have been through?
It's a pretty big building. I guess I've never really described Town Hall, but it's like, it is very large. Like, the ceilings in most areas are, like, at least in this main entry hall, the ceilings are a solid 3 stories high. And then, like, once you get into the actual rooms, they're normal, but, like, this main entry hall is very intentionally grandiose. Colby, you have a question?
Would I be able to, in that case, take out Cranberry, like, without any consequence, really?
Yeah, and the building's mostly made of, like, stone and tile and all that, so not even a worry from the fire.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and do that then.
Alright. So, let me just check some things real fast. Okay. Bastion, as you're walking through, you would notice that the guards here, some of them definitely have had their hearts ripped out, but there's one dwarf who does not look like his heart's been ripped out. His armor appears to be mostly intact. It looks more like he was suffocated. And he is closest to the mayor's office, the door of which is also swinging in the wind.
Hey guys.
Morgan, would you have joined them at this point?
What?
Would Morgan have joined them at this point?
Would have said they were concerned about anything or there was something off about the mayor's office, then she would have stopped what she was doing and joined them. But if not, then she would have
said, hey, the door to town hall is open and there are more dead people here.
Then yes, Morgan would stop what she's doing with the dead bodies to help in case of danger.
Okay. All right, Emma, sorry, continue.
Yep. Guys? This guy doesn't look like he was killed by a Hermanthony.
What was it then?
He's suffocated.
Oh.
Where's the fucking doctor when you need him? I'm gonna get a nice tight grip on my sword and peek into the mayor's office and yell out, "Hello?"
You get no response. And as you look in,
that's not a good sign.
The windows in the back appear to still be intact, with the curtains open still. The office, you definitely see signs of a struggle. It doesn't look like it was actively ransacked, but you can definitely see the contents of the desk have mostly been sort of swept onto the floor. You can see good amount of blood.
Is there a trail of blood going any particular direction? Or is it just like in one spot? Does it look like a lot of blood or just a little bit?
It definitely looks as though there was a fight. So I would say there is somewhat of a trail of blood, but it's mostly sort of leading around the room. There's like as if people were injured, but it seems to lead sort of out of the room a little bit, and then it seems to stop before getting to the front door of town hall. Almost as if whoever was bleeding staunched their wound. And there's no sign of Gilbert. I should also note there's no sign...
Gilbert or Samuel?
Gilbert's the mayor. No sign of Gilbert, no sign of Samuel. Most of... Well, you haven't seen too many staff members. You would imagine that since it's so late, most of them were probably home. But you have seen a few dead who you would assume were janitors around.
Not that I'm hoping for this to happen, but is perchance that annoying secretary dead?
You actually don't see her body anywhere. It is also eerily quiet. You don't hear any more Hermanthony cries on the wind. The only sound is the front door, smacking against the wall.
He has private quarters here, right?
As far as you're aware.
You said that this building is made of stone, primarily?
Yes.
I'd like to try something.
Okay.
I would like to use my geological attunement to, Oh, shoot. Wait, no, that's a very small range, actually.
I actually also don't know if you'd be able to use it outside of combat, because it is a stance.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, stances are combat only.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Damn. So, we're dealing with something intelligent here.
Clearly.
And, well, I hate to be a downer, but something in me tells me the mayor is involved with this.
The mayor is involved or the mayor is a victim?
Either or, at this point.
Yeah?
I'm truly at a loss. So much weird shit has happened.
Alright, well, let's find his private residence. Make sure no one's there.
Aye.
Okay. So, you would guess that since, as far as you can tell, the first floor is all administrative, you would guess that the second and or third floor are residential.
Well, with the captain of the guard dead, I feel like I'm gonna have to disregard her request for me not to break into any more homes. Sorry about that, Cap. R.I.P. Upstairs.
All right. So, you head up the stairs. Still eerily quiet. And you actually don't see any more bodies here. It seems all of the fighting happened downstairs.
Are there
Until
any
you
living people here?
Well, you get to the top of the stairs, and then you see quite a few more dead staff members, it looks like. It definitely seems as though a good amount of the staff was residential in this building. Because you can see quite a few people, mostly Cloudville halflings, in nightgowns and bedclothes, mostly hearts ripped out. But you see a few more that appear to have been suffocated.
And how can we tell that they've been suffocated?
Well, first and foremost, their hearts haven't been ripped out. Okay. Second, they appear to have a certain blue hue to their faces. Okay. And also, looking a little closer, most of them seem to have bruises around their faces, around their necks, the top of the neck, not like around the jugular necessarily. It seems that it's like bruises sort of around the sides of the face and onto the back of the neck. And the bruises appear to be mostly finger-sized, approximately.
What kind of finger-sized?
Like
halfling, dwarven, human?
Definitely on the thicker side. So maybe dwarvish, maybe orcish. Tough to tell.
Okay. Is there any unifying factor about what sort of people are being found strangled versus are being found with their hearts ripped out?
There does not appear to be too distinctive of a difference. You also don't really know any of these people, but you don't recognize them, so you'd imagine they're just sort of general operational staff and administrative staff. But they are, like, almost all of them are Cloudvale halflings. There's a couple of elves and orcs and dwarves here and there, but most of them appear to be Cloudvales.
Hello?
No response.
If there's anybody fucking out there, make yourself known, because I'm too jumpy to not stab you.
Still no response.
I really hate this. Okay, let's keep going.
All right. You keep going, and all the doors to the bedrooms are open. It does appear that a few of them actually have been broken in. And you just sort of looking into them briefly, it seems like these are mostly sort of dormitories. There's a couple of private rooms, but none of them seem quite regal enough for a Cloudvale mayor. And you reach the stairs to the third floor. On the way here, you've probably encountered a solid 12 bodies on this floor total. Are you heading upstairs?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Creak, creak. As you move up the stairs, which notably are actually made of wood. Very fine, polished, treated wood, which to you means that you're probably heading in the right direction. Because something you definitely have all noticed about Salter at this point is that if it's made of wood, it probably belongs to a wealthy person. So you head up the stairs, and at the top, there is one door. It appears to be unopened, unbroken.
It's unopened,
I'm gonna
unbroken.
knock on the door.
You knock on the door, no response.
I would like to send Cranberry to open the door.
Okay.
I'll back up if we're sending Cranberry in.
Yeah.
You're just having Cranberry, turn the handle and push it open?
Yeah.
Okay. I need you to make a Cranberry lore check, please.
Oh. 24.
24. You can feel a certain resistance as you ask Cranberry. Would you ask him verbally or telepathically?
I'd say telepathically. Just sort of
Okay.
point it over. So,
You
mentally
feel...
be like, could you please?
You feel a strong resistance. But Cranberry acquiesces regardless. Morgrim, as Cranberry makes burning sounds that he tends to do, you feel like you almost understood something. You almost picked out a word in Elemental there. But it just got almost immediately lost. Cranberry moves over to the door, firmly grasps the handle, the brass door handle, turns it. It appears locked.
That's anticlimactic.
There is definitely a keyhole above the handle, however. And this door is made of wood.
Aye, well, who's up for some property damage, eh?
At this point, I don't think it fucking matters.
All right. I'm going to have Cranberry strike the door.
All right, go ahead and roll to hit.
It's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. All right. Cranberry just punches the door, shattering a good portion of the wood as fire slowly starts to spread out, revealing the room behind it. Definitely appears to be a sort of a suite from the outside. You don't currently see a bed or anything. It looks like you're looking into a living room, actually. See a couple of couches and carpets and artwork on the walls. You don't hear any voices. Do you go in?
I guess so.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You enter the room. No response. And You keep going through the door until all of you are in this living room. There's a couple of doors going off it. Seems to be a combination living room, kitchen. There's a hearth in the corner. Other than the now broken down door, it seems untouched.
There's got to be something in this room. Something special about it.
Yeah,
All right. You start taking a look around, and for the most part, everything seems normal. Paintings don't seem weird. No Hermanthony paintings here. They all appear to be pretty normal. Most of them actually look to be landscapes of Salter, a couple of the city of ships. And you actually would notice there does appear to be a writing desk in one of the corners with a feather quill and an inkwell and a book.
What book?
It appears to be a journal.
I open it up to the last couple pages.
You open it up, the brown leather of the cover creaks, and it's definitely in good condition, definitely better condition than any of Samuel's journals. And the last entry is actually dated from yesterday. And it's Gilbert mostly just sort of talking about his day, talking about how scary the whole thing with the bank was, how he's outright terrified for his brother, and to a certain extent of his brother. And it also goes over how much he misses someone named Edwina and wishes that they were there for all of this. And as you sort of go back through previous pages, it's mostly the same general kind of stuff, just going through the day. A lot of mentions of this Edwina person. But you do definitely encounter quite a few mentions of Samuel, and it seems as though Gilbert had noticed Samuel becoming more and more distant from him before his capture. It seems as though they had, as you had gathered from Samuel's journals, actually, it seems that Gilbert used to bring lunch to him pretty regularly, and eventually Samuel just started avoiding him, and he never really knew why. Seemed like there'd always sort of been a coldness from his brother, but they'd always put an effort into getting along, despite their differences. He never mentions any of their differences, but he does specify quite a few times, despite their differences. Or more accurately, despite Samuel's differences. Almost as if they're not just different from Gilbert, but different, period. want now?
Is there anywhere else to check up here?
There's a couple more doors in here. Right now, you've just stuck to the living room.
Yeah, I'll start going through other doors.
All right. Well, you do find a bathroom. It appears that this building has plumbing. And you also find the bedroom. Plumbing is not normal, though.
I see.
I would also say that Thicket probably has no idea what plumbing is. Because the Nantan definitely do not have plumbing.
Boy, there's water in this house.
But yeah, other than the bathroom, you find the bedroom, which also appears to be untouched, though the bed definitely does not appear to have been made particularly well this morning, or whenever it was last slept in. Though, judging by indentations on the pillows, only one person has been sleeping in this bed.
So from that, we can infer that whoever was sleeping there lived in a hurry. Or at the very least, if something happened to them, they didn't have time to make their bed.
Or maybe he just doesn't make his bed.
I mean, could be. I will say, it doesn't look like anyone necessarily sprung from bed. It definitely looks more like... It definitely, at least to Bastion, it looks more like... more like what you've seen in, when someone is leaving an inn, they'll pull the covers up, but they won't tuck them back in or anything.
I see.
They won't fluff the pillows. They won't make it all nice and pretty.
And is there anything else of note in the room that through Cranberry's eyes I would be able to see?
You would notice there is there is some more artwork here. There's a very large painting of a halfling man above the bed. Very regal, noble Cloudvale halfling man who you don't recognize, and doesn't really seem to bear much of a resemblance to Gilbert or Samuel. But you would also see one other painting in the room, sort of off in the corner above a dresser. This one's different than all the other paintings you've seen. This one's just looks to be a rabbit.
A rabbit?
Yeah.
Like a portrait of a specific rabbit, or just a random rabbit, or a nature rabbit?
Well, it's not a rabbit that you recognize.
Is this Bugs Bunny, perhaps?
You don't know. It does not have a name plaque or anything.
It's a chungus.
But it's
is
very
it like in
small.
Nature?
It's probably, you could make a nature check if you'd like, but the painting itself is very small. Maybe probably 8 inches by 6 inches.
What's the background? Is the rabbit just out in the wild somewhere? Is it just a rabbit?
Appears to be
with no background.
Just a rabbit. There is a background, but it looks like a field of flowers.
I'm gonna take the painting off the wall.
You attempt to take the painting off the wall, and it does not move.
Oh.
It appears stuck fast.
If I were to run my hand over like the painting part of the painting, would I be able to feel any like backing, or would that give way? Like, does it feel loose?
You run your hand over it, and it feels like real canvas. It does feel, as you sort of press in a little bit, that your fingers do hit either a backing or the wall. You're not sure. It is in a gilded frame. Very nice gilded frame.
And what did you say that was a painting of?
A rabbit in a field of flowers.
Is there anything else in the room, or I suppose in the house in general, that relates to rabbits or flowers?
Not that you've seen.
They grew up here. Have they always lived here? Are Cloudvales native to the area?
Cloudvales, like all halflings, they were originally native to Vafamel, and then the hegemony happened and tried to genocide all of the other halflings. So they all left for the City of Ships. And then when refugees started coming to Salter, the Cloudvales saw an opportunity where they hadn't been doing particularly well in the City of Ships. So they saw an opportunity, and they sort of turned Salter into their place. So they are now technically, I guess, naturalized natives, but they were not.
Okay.
They were not originally from here.
I guess my question then is, like, would Gilbert have grown up here?
You would guess so. You would guess Gilbert probably grew up here, yeah. Judging by what you would assume his age is, the Cloudvales sort of came around. They would have come around maybe 60-ish years ago. No, a little longer than that. Treaty was signed around 75 years ago. So, my timeline's messed up in my head. But yes, you would imagine Gilbert grew up here.
Okay. And rabbits don't... Obviously there aren't flowers, but there aren't rabbits that live here, right?
There are snow hares, but nothing like these. These are definitely, like, they're not bulky, like, tundra rabbits. This is probably the kind of thing that would live in, like, Persage. Or, maybe even in some of the nicer parts of Vafamel before the war destroyed them all. Definitely
so
warm climate animals.
Off the wall.
Correct.
I'm very tempted to cut that painting out.
Yeah.
Honestly, do it.
Cut around the edges though, so you don't destroy the bunny.
I'll cut around the edges of the frame.
Okay. You cut around the edges of the frame. Go ahead and make a crafting check for me. So, Bastion, you take your blade and it slips out of your hand, slashing right across the rabbit.
Alright, someone else has to touch this. I've already desecrated the bunny.
I don't know that it matters anymore.
Yeah, I suppose... I mean, do we just let Cranberry burn it at this point?
Don't burn it.
What? No, I mean
important on the back. I try and peel back the segment of the painting that I have butchered.
You attempt to peel back the segment of the painting, and it appears to be, appears to be the wall behind it.
And there's nothing like written on the backing of the painting.
Nothing appears to be written on the canvas. No.
Can we feel the wall behind it and see if there's anything?
You feel a wall, and Morgrim, as you sort of touch your fingers to it, you realize it's a different material than the rest of the wall. It's wood, not stone. But it's been painted to look like stone.
Oh.
I will share this information.
Can I break the wall?
Okay. Make an athletics check for me.
An 8.
You punch the wall and hurt your hand.
Ow.
Could Cranberry give it an attempt?
Sure. In all honesty, Cranberry can kind of just reach over and touch it, and it starts to burn.
Yeah, but punching it's cooler.
Okay. Go ahead and make an unarmed strike, I guess. With it.
15.
Shit. Cranberry is this with the primary or secondary?
This is primary.
Okay.
So hot hands.
Cranberry just straight through the wood, and you hear the fist clang against metal. And as Cranberry pulls his fist back, you see what appears to be a safe built into the wall.
Mm-hmm. Thub controls metal, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah, of course he does.
Son of a bitch.
The safe does not appear to have a combination lock. It appears to be a key lock.
Hmm.
Anyone know how to pick locks?
No.
I'm afraid not.
I look around for a key.
You look around for a key. Do you just look in the bedroom, or do you look other places as well?
I'll look other places. I mean, I'm not going to take forever, ever.
And conquer, I guess.
Yeah.
You divide and conquer, and as you look around, you don't see any key. You look through the drawers of the dressers and all that, and it's just regular old clothes as far as you can tell. And even looking in the kitchen and the living room, there's not a whole lot in here. You know, there's fire pokers and all that for the hearth. There's cooking utensils. Really the only notable thing that you might not have noticed before, now that you're looking around again, is the ink pot appears to be very full on the desk, and that the feather pen is looks to be kind of shiny.
What do you mean shiny?
I go inspect it closer.
It kind of glitters in the light.
Can I dip the
It's already in the ink pot.
Okay.
It's just sort of been sitting in the ink pot. You pull it out, and as you pull it out, it definitely isn't a real feather. This appears to be made of some kind of metal that's been sort of painted to look like a feather, but it's been painted with a glittery white paint, and the ink just sort of seems to slide away, not staining it or anything. And you realize that this isn't ink, it's just water that's been dyed blue. And as you look at the feather pen, the pen tip end, it doesn't look like it would be all that effective for writing. It's just not shaped right.
Can I put it in the keyhole?
Put it in the keyhole, and you hear a click.
I open the safe.
You open the safe, and inside appears to be a small leather pouch.
I guess I pull out the leather pouch.
As you pull out the leather pouch, you also see what looks to be a couple of documents as well. And as you grab the pouch, it's heavy. Something jingles inside.
I open the pouch.
You open the pouch, and it appears to be full of money. If you do a quick count, you'd estimate it's somewhere around 25 gold.
What are the documents?
The documents appear to be birth certificates, actually. Mostly records, but the ones on top are birth certificates for Gilbert and Samuel.
Is there anything odd about them?
Not as far as you can tell. They look normal.
Now, remind me, are they twins, or is one older than the other?
They are brothers, and from what you would have gathered, it always seemed as though Gilbert was the older one, but according to the birth certificates, it looks like Samuel's older by a couple of years. And actually, Morgrim, as you sort of look for oddities, I would say, as maybe the others are inspecting Gilbert's, you take a look at Samuel's, and as you run your fingers over it, you realize there are certain sections that have been whited out and written over.
What's in these sections now?
Right now, it's information about conditions, like conditions of birth. And right now it says conditions good. Birth proper, mature.
I will show this to the others.
That's a weird thing to fake.
Why?
Yeah.
Why has he got that?
What's it say in those spaces on the other birth certificate?
On Gilbert's, sorry, it was Samuel's was the one with the whiteout. I don't remember which one I said. I think I said Samuel.
Yeah, you said Samuel's.
Yeah.
Gilbert's does not appear to have any whited out spaces, and it also says good, normal birth, slightly premature.
Can I hold it up to like a light source and look at it from the other side? Yeah, to see the other side, the back side, and see if I can make out anything like that.
That is true.
Yeah. Well, I hold it up to my fire.
You bring your little fire dragon over, and Gilbert's appears not to have any weird artifacts or anything. It's made of solid cardstock.
Yeah. I wanted to take Samuel's and look at it from the back side, the side that doesn't have the whiteout on it, to see if I can see anything from that side leaking through.
You can definitely see with the light. There is definitely writing underneath the whited out portions, but you can't make it out because it is very thick, high quality paper.
Does anybody know how to lift whiteout without damaging things?
What kind of check would that be?
Right now, I don't even know what whiteout is.
Yeah, well, you don't have eyes, so. I guess. How do we feel about me trying to scrape off the top layer?
Sure, just do it in like a corner first so it doesn't.
Hey, give it a test.
Mess up the whole thing if it doesn't work.
I'm gonna. Starting on like one of the smaller pieces, I'm gonna try and peel off the whiteout.
Okay. How? With what?
Let's see what's in my inventory.
You know, before that, I'm actually going to have you make a warfare lore check real quick.
15.
Okay. So something you would very vaguely remember from your training is, even though you never actually encountered it in the field, because it was during the officer training that everyone in the Hegemony Army is required to take basic officer training while they define your roles. So you also did this quite a while ago, as you would have been, 14 at the time. You would remember that, at least at that point, you were always supposed to be on the lookout for hidden messages in captured documents, because you never knew when they would you might find something that had been hidden. And whiteout is a typical way to do that. You remembered that an option was, yes, to try to scrape it off with a blade or something, but that always risks damaging the actual content of the message. You remember thinking it was very odd, and that it was something that just didn't feel right for warfare that you used. It felt far too mundane. Whatever the solution was. You feel like maybe you don't know, but suddenly you're starting to feel a little hungry thinking about this.
I'm gonna go into the kitchen.
You go into the kitchen, and as you do, your heart starts beating strangely. It kind of hurts, actually.
Ow. Okay, why? Someone come in here. Hello.
You all right?
Is your heart not doing this? I step out of the kitchen.
Your heart continues beating. If anything, it starts to beat faster and more.
Oh, that's horrible.
Arrhythmically.
It's not location-based.
Do I even have a heart?
Bastion, as you close your eyes from the pain, you can hear your heart screaming at you.
Oh,
you can't make
thank
out
you.
the words right now because this horrible beating is making its words very, very difficult to understand.
If you could just calm down, I could probably understand you better.
Make a diplomacy check. Your heart screams louder and
That's not really
angrier.
helping. Bring me kitchen things, whatever he has in the kitchen.
I don't understand. What's going on?
My heart knows something, and it is trying unsuccessfully to tell me, so I'm hoping if you hand me the right thing, it will calm the fuck down.
Okay, I just start going and grabbing things from the kitchen
Okay.
and bringing them to her.
What kinds of things are you grabbing?
I don't know what's in the kitchen. Flour,
Well,
vinegar,
there are
rice. I
pretty
don't know.
typical kitchen fixings, and then there's all the utensils and all that. So I guess really my question is more: are you going for utensils? Are you going for ingredients? Like, what are you?
Well, she was going for ingredients because that's what she thinks of
Oh,
when she thinks of the
whatever.
kitchen.
Okay.
Edible. Something edible.
Yeah, you start looking through the cabinets, have like all sorts of baking stuff. What you think is little sacks of flour, baking powder, baking soda. You actually find in the cabinet with the flour what looks like a set of muffin tins. And you keep going through. Would you be like sort of grabbing things and bringing them over to Bastion as you're finding them?
Yes.
You grab them, and none of them seem to be quite right until you get the baking soda. And as you bring the baking soda to Bastion, you can feel your heart starting to calm down a little.
Okay.
Still
That's
angrily screaming at you. And at this point, you can feel that it's very frustrated that you do not understand what it is saying.
baking soda. Do I need vinegar? I don't.
More stuff?
I just rub baking soda on it?
I will note, Morgrim, something else odd that you would realize at this point is that there's a good amount of fresh produce sitting on the counter, which is very abnormal. Almost everything is typically kept on ice here to make it last longer, but there's just fresh vegetables, fresh fruits.
That's kind of weird. Says that you will point out the fruits and veggies.
Would I be able to glean anything else notable about it? Being from a small village in the area.
Well, you would definitely sort of, by going over and looking at things through Cranberry's eyes, it mostly seems to be imported food. You do actually see a few whole frost coffee tubers, I guess, because that's really what they are. You also find, these weird round red things. They're very squishy. And actually, as you sort of pick one up and squeeze it, it just sort of spurts weird, clear jelly onto your hand. Morgrim, you would recognize this as a tomato.
Okay.
What the fuck is that?
And the only other thing that you really recognize here is a local fruit called a yaktub. It's pink in color. You think you would consider it a citrus, maybe. You know, you don't really eat these. You don't really know why it's here, to be honest, because like they're so sour and generally unpleasant to eat, and their tough skin makes them very difficult to get into, anyways.
What is that? I point at the thing in Thicket's hand.
Oh, this thing. It's a. What did you say it was?
Yaktub.
It's a yaktub. Huh. Wonder what
See
that's
it?
doing here. Go for it. Be me guest. I'm gonna toss it.
You
You
toss
don't
it.
eat it?
I suppose if you want. Never really been my taste, but you know, each their own. It's a bit tough.
Bastion, the fruit lands in your hand, and it definitely has a very tough, almost leathery peel to it. Kind of close to an orange or a lemon. The fact that it's pink is definitely throwing you off a bit, but definitely feels like a citrus of some kind.
Give me a bowl.
Get one?
Morgrim gives you a bowl.
I'm gonna try and peel the fruit.
You dig in your claws and you manage to peel the fruit open a little bit. And as some of the juice spurts out onto your hand, you can feel your heart finally start to calm down, and you can finally start to understand what he's saying. He's saying, "Finally, you got it, you stupid creature." I take it you've figured it out, hopefully, from here?
Yes, I'll make a poultice and put it on the whiteout.
Good.
You don't have to fucking take me hostage to communicate, you know.
Well, maybe if you were a little bit smarter.
If I was a little bit smarter, then I wouldn't have been sent to the butcher, now would I?
Is this out loud or all like?
I'm out loud.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I
you
assume
hear
you cannot hear my heart.
No, you
Okay.
you hear Bastion seemingly having a conversation with herself.
I'm gonna just tiptoe over to Morgrim, like shuffle on over.
I just kind of side eye.
I'm getting a bit worried.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna juice the whatever the hell it is. Juice it and add some of the baking soda or baking powder. Which was it?
Baking soda.
Baking soda.
All right.
And then I'm gonna put it over the whiteout.
You put it over the whiteout. Nothing happens.
And then I'm gonna try and rub it off. when
Try rubbing
dries.
it off. And your heart starts beating again.
Oh, god damn it. Okay. I sprinkle the unused baking soda on top and squeeze the lemon over it.
Your heart starts beating angrily again.
Ah! If anyone else has any thoughts,
Should I do it the other way? Juice first? Then I don't
sure.
know.
I wipe off the birth certificate, put the juice down, and then the baking soda. Fuck! This sucks.
All right, Morgrim.
Okay, so I don't remember officer training. Fucking sue me. I wasn't cut out to be a fucking officer. If that's your fucking job, then you could tell me. Fuck.
Morgrim, as you take the birth certificate and start putting the mixture on it, nothing happens until you hold it up to the light to try to see if it works. And as the heat gets close, you can see it start to sizzle a little bit.
Ah. It's okay, you were all doing. And then just hold it there and keep it sizzling until I can read something. Hopefully.
So slowly, the whiteout sort of starts to sizzle more and more, and it turns clear. And you can. It's a little difficult to read through the writing on the whiteout because you can still see that. Even though the ink definitely is starting to separate from the whiteout. You can see the writing below it in completely different handwriting. Birth condition not optimal. Severely premature. Abnormal birth conditions.
Who's that for?
Samuel.
Does my heart calm the fuck down?
Your heart starts to calm down at this point, and you can hear him just sort of sputtering in anger still. You were so close, and yet you still evaded me! And your heart just sort of starts grumbling into itself until you can't hear it anymore.
Do we have water somewhere? I'm gonna wander over to the sink and just start like drinking handfuls of water and splashing my fucking face.
Are you okay?
My heart had very strong opinions.
Opinions?
Yep. It wasn't too happy that I forgot officer training.
Morgan was just kind of staring blankly a little bit like, I don't know what to do with this information.
Though I can't imagine what a gem it was to have been sent to the butcher, but what do I know?
The butcher?
You don't think I was born... I lift up, like, my hands and the scar tissue.
I feel like Morgan has been very out of touch with society. Does she know anything about any of this?
Make a society check.
It's a +1. Backs up what I think.
Oh, natural 20. All right.
Oh.
Never mind, I take it back. Dice just want to screw me over.
Morgan, pretty firmly, firmly is not the right word. Pretty quickly upon arriving in Salter from your little isolated corner of the world, you learned about the Vafamelian War. Because so many of the refugees here are from Vafamel. And you would have heard while you were out drinking, whatever. There were, like, when you first got to Salter, you probably would have landed down in Talon Point, and there was a fisherman there, a dwarf, who pretty much every night would drink himself silly in the local bar and start going on and on about the horrors he had seen as a prisoner of war of the 8 Points Hegemony. And the way that he watched his friends be torn apart and how he was torn apart. You would remember that he had metal claws instead of arms, just jagged metal claws. So you would have been made very aware from encountering people like that the 8 points hegemony does some really nasty shit to their enemies. And since Bastion is, at least mostly as far as you can tell, a Voffet, who is on the side of the 8 points hegemony, you'd imagine they probably do the same, if not worse, to their allies.
Okay. I've only heard a few tales, but it was mostly from a drunk man.
Yeah. Well, everything he said and worse.
I'm sorry.
You didn't split me open and take my body for experiments, so no hard feelings, mate.
Orgrim just stares awkwardly. What do you do?
How does one respond to this? There is so much to unpack and not enough time.
She just gives a little awkward nod at the moment.
I don't know how you chaps are. Maybe before we start looking for other shit, we should take a quick resolve rest.
Quick breather.
Yeah. Can you explain the resolve points? Because I don't think you ever explained those to me.
Pretty simple. In order to take a breather, you spend a resolve point, and it restores all of your stamina after 10 minutes of resting.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really all it is. It's just a limit on how many breathers you can take a day to force you to eventually actually sleep.
Yeah. Okay. So just kind of like a short rest thing for 10 minutes.
It basically is a short rest. So if you want to take your 10 minutes to rest up, you may. And do any of you have actual injuries that need healing?
I don't think so.
No.
Are you sure?
Should I not be sure?
I'm maxed.
I'm looking at one of you who is missing some hit points right now, is what I'm saying.
I'm missing... Oh, I thought you were talking about, like, injuries, like some kind of permanent injury. I was I didn't think I got that bad.
No.
But yes, I am down hit points.
If you would like to get some... To do some healing of your actual hit points, you may do that now as well.
Okay.
Because I would consider that a light activity. So I'd say you can take a breather and treat wounds if you wanted to.
Okay, I will try to treat wounds.
All right, go for it.
Do you want me to take a look, or are you good to do it?
You're probably better than I am, but
all right,
I can.
Let me take a look.
All right, Bastion, go ahead and make a medicine check.
It's a 21.
Yes, you are better than me.
That is a success. So 2d8.
12 points of healing.
Thank you. All right. That gets me max, and then I can go ahead and add the stamina back, right?
Yes. Yeah, you all are back at max stamina. -1 resolve point.
Is there a button to press on our sheet to do that, or do we just have to change the numbers manually?
Change the numbers manually.
Okay.
Okay. So Samuel, the non-mayor brother, is the one whose birth certificate
was abnormal.
Is all fucky, right?
Yes, correct.
And Samuel's also the one whose home we broke into and discovered that
Faces in the basement.
Yes.
Yes.
So, what are the odds he's a homunculus?
I feel like-
of some kind?
I feel like those two things are connected somehow.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Should
don't know what to
we?
do about those two things being connected, or where the mayor is.
Maybe we can try to follow tracks out of the office and in the
Are
direction
there
of the.
tracks?
But you said the blood stopped, and I thought like it was heading out, but the blood stopped. But I would imagine there'd be tracks in the snow.
There definitely are some tracks in the snow, though it is snowing, so a lot of like snowing pretty hard, so a lot of them are starting to fill in.
Could
Do
I?
I know?
Could I use my survival to try and, still figure out where those tracks may be leading, even with the fresh snow?
Sure, go for it.
Can I assist? Aid?
Sure.
Whatever that is.
Go ahead and also roll a survival check then.
I got a 24.
I got a 12, so
12. Okay.
you didn't need my help.
So,
I know a thing or two.
there are so many tracks that it's a little bit difficult to sort of sort them out, especially just with the chaos as people have started to sort of funnel in. Thankfully, it seems not all of the town guards were killed, as quite a few of them have come out and are bringing people to the hospital and clearing up bodies. So a lot of footprints have been trampled. However, you definitely do find a few Hermanthony tracks leading off until seemingly they took off into the air.
And in what general direction is that? Like, is it towards any particular landmark?
Most of them seem to be going generally west.
Past the greenhouses.
Past the greenhouses. A few of them you would have seen take off north, but most of them seem to be going west.
I get the feeling their nest is in the west. Trucks lead up that a ways.
What's
I get
out
the feeling.
west?
Hmm?
I mean, what's out there? What is to the west of here?
Greenhouses. And I'm assuming you said these things they have blood pits?
Vomit pit? Yep.
I'd imagine that's where they're going.
I more meant, is there a town?
Oh, also,
City.
so the only town that's proper west that it would be Rock, but that's far away. That's several days away. Other than that, the only thing you really are aware of to the west would be Yagwal.
You don't think they're going to Yogwall, do you?
I mean,
Could be
It
anywhere. I mean, how many
wouldn't
ice
be.
caves are between here and there?
You're right. But that's also where this all started, so
So it does make sense that it might be near there.
I will note, you actually are seeing a surprising lack of civilians running through town. It's mostly guards coming into the town square. as
Are
well as
they-
a few Elmstrong priests. You recognize their garb from when you visited the temple.
What time is it again?
It's 10:30 at night, just like in real life.
Look at that.
Do I know if Dawncaller is meant to live in the building we're currently standing in?
No, you don't actually know where Dawncaller lives, but her office is like across the square.
Cool. We're just gonna live with that anxiety for the time being. Should we go talk to the cops? I don't know what to do. Should we go back to Samuel's house?
I mean, should we tell Samuel what we found? Assuming
I guess
he's at his house.
Around, yeah. We can try to find him. And then
I mean,
I almost think outside of Samuel, we need to
Can we trust
stop
Samuel?
these things. No.
we definitely cannot trust Sam. He had faces in his basement.
Aye. Just
And we
wanted to
certainly
make
can't
sure
fucking find
we're on the
Gilbert.
same
He's
page.
missing.
So what then? I think our only lead, I suppose our best lead, is to go back to Samuel's house, see what we can find there. Rest for the night, and then in the morning, maybe if we feel up for it, go out west.
Do we have time to risk? Because nobody knows what they're gonna do with all that heart vomiting stuff.
We might want to
Is
talk
that-
to some cops.
It's not something that I think we want to delay on. I mean, we delayed on that original Hermanthony, and look what's happened.
To be fair, even if we had killed the first Hermanthony, I don't think the unknown scores of Hermanthonies would have not attacked.
But it could have let us find out information earlier. And maybe we could have prevented this.
Well, okay. I'm gonna give us two options. We go talk to cops and see if we can develop some information. We go break back into Samuel's house.
Do we see any cops that look familiar and that knows anything that was going on before with Samuel? Like that was
So
I guess close to Kyra or whatever.
The orc that Wyatt just brought to the hospital, you recognized him as one of the ones who is investigating, or who caught you in Samuel's house in the first place.
Right.
Other than that, as you look around, Bastion, you notice the hobgoblin who was bullying you before.
We don't like him.
Other than that, you've not really developed relationships with any of the other guards, so
if we want to talk to the cops, maybe we can go talk to the orc Wyatt took back to see if there was anybody that wasn't there that knew about Samuel. Because I don't know that we want to go out telling people that she might not have trusted with that information.
I mean, I was more thinking we say the mayor is missing, but
Well, that's fine too. But that's all we want to do.
Man, I have no idea.
at this point, a guard runs up to you. You all right there?
We were looking for the mayor. Can't find anybody who's left alive, and he's missing.
Shit. Okay. All right. Are there any other people that you know who are missing? Because we're trying to put together a list of who's dead and missing. most of the casualties seem to have been guards, I think, but there's definitely been a few regular folk.
Have you seen Samuel?
Samuel Cloudville?
Yeah,
Mayor's
Mayor's brother.
No, I can't say I have. Can't say I have, no.
If the mayor's missing, then he might be in trouble too.
Shit.
We'll go look for him at his house.
Okay, I know something weird was going on there before, so if you're going to go up there, I don't know if that's necessarily the best idea, but fuck it, we'll take all the help we can get. So many of us are dead.
Who's in charge now?
I don't know. That's supposed to be the mayor's job of appointing a new guard captain.
Oh, Christ. Okay.
At least until the new one can be elected. But that... Oh.
Alright,
Oh,
well,
God.
we don't have a mayor. We don't have a captain of the guard.
I guess maybe Dawn Collar could figure it out. I don't know, I feel like...
Do we know where she is?
I don't know, I haven't seen her. But I also... I don't know, I normally don't talk to her, I just sort of know that she's...
Where does she live? Do you know where she lives?
She lives a couple buildings behind her office, I think. Had to visit once or
third option.
twice.
We go find Dawn Collar.
We'll do Dawn Collar and then go to Samuel's.
Sorry, I don't think I heard earlier. Are any people you know missing? Besides the mayor, like people...
We don't know where the mayor is. We don't know where Samuel is.
Has anybody checked on Hyena Barrel since we last saw him?
He went to the hospital. I don't know if he made it there.
I suppose keep an eye out for that fella.
For a hyena barrel.
Wyatt.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Do I know he's Hyena Barrel at this point?
He would have probably said that he's hyena barrel to you guys.
Okay.
And he does a rubbish job of trying to lie about it.
I don't think Thicket understands the implications.
He does not.
Fair.
I would definitely safely say Thicket does not understand the implications.
Okay. I mean, Thub was asleep when we left him. God only hopes that he didn't wander out right into the path of a Hermanthony.
Is there anybody else missing that you know of?
We've definitely got a few, but we're still working on it. There's definitely a few missing guards. Well, mostly dead. We've only got a few that are unaccounted for. There's a whole lot of people. We're sifting through its chaos right now. So, I don't know. We're hoping to maybe have a proper list put together in the morning. But, it's going to be a long night. As if it wasn't long enough already.
Someone told the civilians to stay inside?
Yeah, well, for the most part, they figured it out in the areas that were attacked. But,
Was there a lot of different areas attacked other than the town square?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that, as far as I'm aware, there were maybe 5 of them throughout the city. The temple was hit pretty hard, because a lot of civilians who were out and about tried using it as a refuge, I think, from what I understand. So there were a couple, there was a group that attacked the temple, but for the most part, they were just singular creatures out in the darkness.
There were 7 in the town square alone.
What the fuck? What the fuck? And I don't know if anything's gone up north. I'm stationed in the southwest, so I don't know if anything's up north. But at least from what I've gathered from the other guards, there were around 5 throughout the city. I guess you just said there were 7 here.
Yeah.
So that means there's probably somewhere around, 12, 13
We-
that we know of.
We did kill 3 in town. Where
Okay, and I know at least one was killed at the temple, and I know I definitely was involved in the severe injuring of a few others, but I haven't seen any dead myself, except for the ones right here.
Coordinated attack. I don't even know how those things can coordinate an attack. What benefit does a fucking flesh centaur have with attacking the guards' force?
I have no idea. Listen, all right, I've got to get to work on figuring this shit out. Thank you for all your help.
what was his name?
It is he is an orc. He says his name is Glarknock.
Glark. Okay. Can I just do a quick sense motive? I don't know that I feel like there's
Sure.
anything out of place, but
What
just
do
to be
you-
on
what
the
do
safe
you-
side.
What are you looking for?
Mainly like when Morgan mentioned Samuel, or like the coordination of attack, just to make sure that there's nothing, that any kind of information that he's hiding or like might be aware of.
As far as you can tell, he doesn't seem to be hiding anything, but all of his emotions seem to be. He seems to be running. He seems to have been running off adrenaline for so long, and now that the attack seems to have stopped, it's fading away. Like, he is visibly shaking.
Okay, I felt like he was kind of sincere in his emotions and how it played, but it's hard to tell for sure.
Yeah, you at least don't sense any obvious lies.
Morgan doesn't trust anybody at the moment.
Fair.
Which is fair.
All right, so where to?
Don caller first.
Yeah. I mean,
Dawn
we have
color.
a vague.
Are you going
Idea
to? Are you trying to go straight for her house?
Well, I guess we can see if she's at her office. But I don't know why she would be unless she came in.
They are in the same general direction.
Oh, let's just start at the office.
As you approach the office, the door has been broken down.
That's not good.
Oh, lovely.
Do you go in?
Yes.
Yes?
Mm-hmm.
As you enter, the place has been ransacked. The receptionist desk has had some sort of blade go through it. And you can see scratches all across the walls. And the office door has also been broken down.
Does the blade imprint look familiar at all?
Not necessarily. It actually looks like it might have been 3 connected blades, kind of like the claw blades that you found on those saber-tooth hunters. But you can't imagine, because those claw blades, the saber-tooth claw blades, are made of bone. You can't imagine that they would have been able to cut through a wooden desk like this without at least leaving some fragments behind, and you don't see any bone fragments.
Do they look similar in size?
These ones look a little bit. They look like somewhat narrow cuts. The bone blades are definitely thicker, and spread a little further apart.
I go into the office.
Okay. You go into the office, and it is very clear that a fight has occurred. There is a lot of blood. And there is quite a bit of damage to the room, just furniture thrown everywhere, several slash marks in the walls, the floors, the desk. And you see actually burn marks on the walls as well, and what actually looks to be burned blood on the floor in a few places.
What the?
Morgrim and Bastion, you're mostly focusing on this thicket. Your ear twitches as you hear something. Very shallow, rapid breathing.
Oh no.
Sounds like it's behind the desk.
I'm going to, what's this room made out of?
This is a stone room.
Okay, I'm gonna pull out Cranberry and look through his eyes.
Okay.
And I'm gonna peer with him behind the desk.
Okay. As you peer around the desk as Cranberry. Make a Cranberry lore check.
Oh, don't fail me now, buddy. It's a 9.
A 9. Cranberry almost seems to shut you out. You can't see through him anymore.
What's going on
You hear the breathing get a little bit louder, and you can definitely sense fear in it. It's mixed with crying. Definitely under the desk.
All right, Cranberry, get back in here. Folks, there's something underneath that desk.
I look under the desk.
Yeah.
You look under the desk, and you see curled up in a ball Don Collar's receptionist.
Jesus Christ.
She is shaking like a leaf, tears streaming down her face, eyes wide. She's just not blinking.
Hey. It's gonna be okay. Can you breathe with me? Hey, just real quick. Just 1, 2, 3, we breathe in. That's not breathing in counting. That's hyperventilating. Okay? Breathe in. Breathe out. Where's Dawn Collar?
I don't know. I don't. I just.
Okay, slow. Okay. Was she in the office?
She was. Ran in here, heard their door crash down, threw me under the desk. I don't know what happened. I didn't see it. I just heard everything.
Okay.
You're okay.
It's okay. We're gonna get you to the hospital, okay? And we're gonna get you checked out.
I don't know what I heard. I don't know what I heard.
It's gonna be all right.
I don't think she won. I don't think she won.
Morgan, let's get her to the hospital.
I will help.
All right. It takes a bit of effort because it seems as though this poor woman's legs are just
I carry her.
not working. You carry her. Okay. You pick her up and you start carrying her, and she keeps sort of going on about hearing everything and the screeching. She starts talking about the screeching.
Should give any more information on the screeching, or is it just the screeching?
Right now she's just saying the screeching and the voices.
What voices?
Voices, I don't know if they were. I don't know them.
What were they saying?
I don't know. Not something I understood. Not something I understood. She seems to start to slowly calm down as you've gotten her out of that place, and she seems to... She's still shaking horribly, but it seems that in your arms she relaxes a little bit. Seems to start feeling a little bit more safe as the cool night air sort of snaps her a little bit back into lucidity.
As we're walking, I'm gonna grab a guard.
Well, as I...
Dawn colors among the missing.
Oh, shite. Fuck! Alright. Thank you, citizen. Keep moving. Keep yourself safe.
We're endeavoring to, thank you.
As you keep moving towards the hospital, the receptionist has managed to sort of calm down enough. She's breathing. She's closed her eyes finally, which were clearly starting to get quite dry. Don't know what they were saying. Language wasn't anything I'd ever heard before. Guttural. Horrible guttural. I heard several voices, maybe 4. I had more masculine one, a feminine one, and just the others were just screeching. Horrible, inhuman screeching.
Does that sound like any language I know? Not that I know to speak, but just I know of.
Or like the Hermanthines were talking to each other?
Well, the Hermanthines, when they were talking to each other, definitely whatever they were saying was guttural and somewhat inhuman sounding. But they definitely weren't screeching.
Okay.
Don't know. I think I heard maybe the clank of armor. But and several thuds. Fleshy thuds. Oh, gods.
This was a multifaceted attack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Someone had control of the Hermanthines and used them to focus the guards at certain places.
Aye, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Did you hear which direction they went when they left?
No, I was just under the desk. I was trying my best not to be noticed.
It's alright. Where...
At this point, you've reached the hospital.
I want to get her into the hands of a healer, and then I want to ask a healer if they've seen Wyatt.
You get her to one of the healers, and you ask about Wyatt, and she just goes, halfling, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, we've seen one of them. Didn't really recognize him, but he just sort of came in and didn't really give us much of a choice in letting him help. So we're taking it. We need the help right now.
But he's here.
As far as I'm aware, he's still running around in there.
Okay. It's one less person who's missing then. Who would have a reason to attack the city like this?
Well, someone attacked, in air quotes, the bank.
If you want
If
my
they
guess,
want to overthrow the mayor,
well, they're making frost zombies, aren't they? That's what
But
they
they
were
took-
doing back there. You don't suppose that's what these hearts are for? Is it? Are they making an army out of the victims?
maybe, but they picked very
Bloody no.
specific victims. If they were just making an army only, I would think they would take easy prey instead of.
Not to mention they kidnapped people.
We hope they kidnap people. They took them. Hopefully they're alive.
They at least took their bodies for something.
That's why I think we need to move on faster than. Sooner rather than later. If there's any
Okay.
chance of helping these people. I guess Yagwal, maybe.
No, Yagwal's too far. It took us how long to get there?
3 days.
That direction.
These things.
Wait, how
were
far
able to
away
get
was
here-
all the... Wasn't there like a big burning pile of people? How far
There
away
was an
that?
outpost. Yeah, that was around 2 days away from here.
I thought that was closer. And I guess we go to Samuel's and then decide
Let's go to Samuel's.
after that.
Okay. So, you head on over to Samuel's, and you see immediately the door is open, blood everywhere, guards everywhere. The guards who you would recognize were the ones who found you there all seem to be dead. And while a few of them have their hearts eaten, one of them looks like something went through the back of his neck and out through his jugular.
Oh.
Some sort of a spike or blade. No sign of Samuel.
Are we allowed to go in easily in?
I mean, the door is open and
Basically,
everyone's
yeah.
dead, right?
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
anyone's
Right?
gonna stop
Everybody's
us.
Nobody's
Okay, I wasn't
nobody's
sure if
stopping
you said there
Everyone's
was-
just sort of running
No,
around.
okay. So we can go in and go down in the basement and see if everything's the same in the basement
Okay.
or in that little room, the mask room.
You go on over to the.
But I watch out for
mask
the stat.
It
Yeah,
actually
we'd
seems
rather
as
not
though
be spiked.
it actually seems as though the guards managed to pry the tiles out of the floor and
Okay.
disarm the traps. They also have torn the curtains down in the secret room. The masks are still there.
Okay. Does
The
anything else
cabinet
look?
is open, and you remember you gave that weird the jar of weird viscous stuff
Mhm.
to one of the guards that you had found. You don't see that anywhere, and that guard is here dead.
I'm gonna go search that guard's body.
You don't find any. You don't find what you don't really find anything of note, just his equipment. So whatever that jar was appears to be missing. But the masks are still here.
Are they in the same spots they were in last time?
It appears that the mannequin heads have been moved.
I see. So he's been out and about.
Well,
Or,
also there
you
were
know, the
guards.
cops have-
Well, that too. Well, I'm just making connections here. I'm working with the neurons that I have.
All 3 currently firing synapses.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we have 3 collectively, so.
Yeah, exactly. 3 collectively. Rachel has 2 of them.
And
Alfie
then-
and I trade off for the other one.
Yeah. So, what now?
Okay. I mean, is there anything else in this room, or I guess in the house in general, that we have not yet checked out?
Not that you're aware of.
Okay.
It definitely seems that a lot of damage has been done to the house itself and its contents. And you would imagine the guards were not quite that rough with the items.
Okay.
Actually, I would say, Morgrim, you would notice that it seems a good portion of the silver is missing.
That's suspicious.
Oh, right, Rachel's BRB. So I'm going to say Morgrim has passed along to you all that a good portion of the silver seems to be missing.
Morgrim is silent from shock.
I feel like he took it. He took it and staged his own disappearance. That is my impulse.
I'm inclined to agree with you.
What I don't know is why. I mean, I understand why he wants Gilbert. I mean, kind of. I don't know why he wants Dawncaller.
I mean, is there anything that we don't know about Dawncaller?
Other than pointing out the obvious of if we don't know it, I can't tell you what we don't know. Is there anything that I think would be relevant about Dawncaller to this?
To this specifically, you're not sure. You would definitely know that Dawncaller, like, really the only somewhat possible thing is that you know Dawncaller was, at least when you first met her, kind of cast out from her tribe and from the other Nantan tribes because she chose to worship, period. And that she used to worship Scryus, the god of destruction. That's the only possible inkling you have. But even then, yeah, you never really got any vibe that she would do anything like this. And from what she said, she is a follower of Mordred now. God of politics. Or God of rules, not politics. God of rules.
Unless she knew something. I mean, they know about the Soul of Frost, but if they knew about the Soul of Frost, then they would have come for you more.
Well,
Are you still in the house? Or would you have stepped out?
I imagine we're still in the house.
Okay.
I believe so.
It doesn't make any damn sense.
None of this does.
What?
I feel like there's some big pieces that we're missing.
Yeah, I think we can safely agree on that.
Aye. So, we need to figure out the ones that were kidnapped, that are unaccounted for, and probably aren't dead. What do they have in common? And what do they have to do with, all of this?
It's interesting they killed the captain of the guard and left her body. But these other three are missing.
Aye.
Who were the three that are missing? Don Collar, the mayor.
Don
Gilbert
Collar,
and Samuel.
Gilbert, Samuel.
Okay, Samuel is missing for sure then.
As far as you're aware, he's not here, so.
Not in
We're
the house,
pretty sure
but yeah.
that he stole his own silver.
Aye.
Oh, okay. I missed that part, sorry.
It's all good. So.
What if these are they're unholy creations by the god Wind, right?
Yes, as far as you're aware, Hermanthines are creations of Wend, deity monsters.
I look for something that implies worship of wind.
Okay. You go ahead and make a religion check for me.
24.
So, just in general, from your research into Hermanthines, really the primary signs of Wend worship are typically a strong sort of, I'm trying to figure out how to describe it. I guess connection to other Wend worshippers and Wend spawn, the creatures created by the deity. And the other, for the most part, because people typically don't trust Wend worshippers. For the most part, they don't really have.
Can't imagine why.
They don't really carry holy symbols or anything. Though you do feel like you remember something about. You remember something about them having a specific weapon that they prefer to use. You think generally the favored weapon of Wend worshippers is some sort of a strange bladed gauntlet. Other than that, the main telltale sign of anything to do with Wend is probably that the creature is speaking the language called Wenduk, which is...
What does Winduk sound like?
Well,
Quack.
Wenduk, you would imagine, is probably what the Hermanthines were speaking.
And the strange bladed gauntlet would look like what we saw in Don Collar's office, maybe?
Possibly. But as far as you're aware, Wenduk is at least from what you heard, a very guttural, almost alien-sounding language.
Would that explain what the woman we found under the desk would have heard?
Possibly.
Sounds like it.
Why the fuck? I wonder if that greenhouse guild lady is here.
Do you want to go look?
Yeah, let's check it out.
Okay. So, are you taking the road? Or are you gonna just cut through houses?
I don't imagine we'll be breaking into more houses.
No, not like breaking into them, but like cutting between them.
Oh. Everybody good with hanging out, walking through the backyards?
All right, the silence is
should
a
be.
yes there. All right, so you all start. You all just run out the back door and start making your way towards the Greenhouse Guild headquarters. Upon making it there, the first thing you see is that your snowmobile is still there. There are...
Is Hedrick still there?
You don't currently see Hetrick.
Oh.
There are definitely signs of a struggle.
Oh no.
It appears a few engineers were working late and they're injured. You see a few dead. Also among the dead appears to be a Hermanthony. And upon quick glance, it appears that a rock was flung through its skull.
I'm gonna check the inside of the snowmobile.
Went through its soft spot?
Oh yeah, straight through the soft spot.
Lovely.
You check inside the snowmobile. Everything seems in order. Hetrick's tools are still here, packed up in their tool bag. It actually looks like there's a kettle of boiling water on a little stove in the corner, a little hand stove. And from shaking it, it seems like it's been boiling for long enough that most of the water is boiled out.
I don't like that.
At this point, you hear footsteps running towards the snowmobile.
I peek out.
You peek out, and you see Hetrick sprinting in your direction.
Christ alive, man.
Oh.
Oh, you're alive! Oh, thank the gods. Or at least the three of you are. Okay, are the other ones alive?
Wyatt's at the hospital. We don't know about Thub.
Oh, shite. Oh, alright. Oh.
They were asleep when we left.
Oh. You notice that there is a pretty solid visible dislocation in his shoulder.
Oh.
Christ, let me look at that.
Oh. Do you try to relocate it?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and make a med check.
Oh, you've got to be fucking... I'm gonna hero point.
I'll give you one if you need one.
Patrick's arm. Okay, that's a 19.
Okay, go ahead and roll 2d8.
I just wrench off his arm. Okay, 10 points of healing to
You
Hedrick.
manage to pop it back into its socket. Oh, that's... Oh. Thank you kindly.
Oof.
Fucking thing kicked me right in the shoulder. Lucky I didn't break anything. I don't think, at least. If it weren't for Asmira, I don't think any of us would have survived.
Where is she?
She's inside. Her husband got hurt, but
How hurt?
not terribly. I think he got bitten, and bitten in the leg, trying to save
The
a few of
mayor?
his students. But
The mayor's brother and the DA are all missing.
oh shit! Oh shit!
They had killed the town guard in a very coordinated attack.
Mhm.
Well, that's not great.
Yeah, we have no captain of the guard. We have no mayor. We have no DA.
Okay, well, I can fill us merit in on this unless you want to. Because I'm sure
We
she'll
just wanted
probably
to see
want
if
to step up.
she was taken too.
No, she's still definitely here, though I don't know if something tried to take her, because if they did, they probably would not have succeeded from what I saw. She's got fucking power.
Which way did the others go?
The others?
The other Hermanthony.
There was no other Hermanthony. It was just the one.
You just said
Well-
one?
Just the one, aye. We're
What
the
What was the one doing? Who did he
Trying to-
attack?
kill as many of us as it could, but it definitely was ripping through engineers, and once it saw us, Mira, it sort of seemingly forgot about us, but as I'm sure you saw,
it was
that didn't go
going
too
for
well.
her.
I think so.
We gotta talk to her.
Aye, I'll bring you in. You go inside, and as Hetrick said you would, you find Asmira, and she's currently tending to a wood elf man, or a land elf man. It seems as though his shin has been like snapped. But she's managing to piece his leg back together. Hetrick goes over, taps her on the shoulder, and she nods, calls over somebody else who starts helping the man. But before she leaves, she puts her hand on his cheek and just gives him what you can tell is a forced smile before wheeling herself over to you. My friends, I am glad to see that you are still alive. I've heard that there were more attacks than just this one. I take it that is what you found breaking our greenhouses.
Yes, ma'am.
Aye.
Okay. Etrick said you needed to speak to me.
It came for you.
It seemed so. When it from what my husband said, it got to him while he was on his way here, and it followed him, let him crawl here.
How well do you know the DA and the mayor?
Well, I've definitely had several dealings with Gilbert over the years, but I don't know him personally all that well. Don Collier, she comes by every once in a while to say hello, to let us know if there are going to be legislative changes that we want to know about.
That's all.
That is all. No real personal relationship.
Do you guys have any kind of thing that you were working on?
She shakes her head. No, not really.
What about Gilbert's brother?
Samuel.
Yeah.
I never really knew him all that well either. He always seemed like a bit of an odd duck to me. Never quite got good vibes from him. something uncanny about his eyes. He definitely was not a fan of my husband, though.
Why?
Well, my husband runs the local school, and Samuel very much wanted his support for his mayoral campaign, and would not get it from him, and would not get it from me. So I don't think he was necessarily our biggest fan, but I know he definitely had more than just a terse interaction with my husband. I believe things got a little bit more heated between them.
Who are other prominent political figures in town who didn't endorse Samuel? Do you know?
As far as I'm aware, none of the Cloudvales really endorsed him. He seemed to be a bit more popular amongst the non-Cloudvale populace. I know I personally did not like him, but I did not like Gilbert either, and I frankly gave up voting years ago. At least in this town. Never particularly worth it.
Okay, so everyone who's missing or was attempted to be taken didn't give their endorsement to Samuel's mayoral campaign. But that might mean nothing, because so many people didn't give their endorsement to Samuel's mayoral campaign.
Aye. Don't think it'd be a tad too obvious, though, don't you?
I don't know. Not if it looks like he's one of the victims.
I suppose. Got a point there.
Listen, is there anything else I can help with right now? Or can I get back to this?
No, go to your husband.
Alright. It is getting quite late, my friends. I would recommend getting some sleep. I would say you need it.
Probably right.
She points up at a clock on the wall. It is currently 11:45 p.m.
I think your clock's
Let's
about
get back to the inn.
Too
13
fast.
minutes past.
Go. And if you have more questions, feel free to ask them, and I will answer what I can, but I cannot say I will have that many answers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, as you ponder everything you've just learned, that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Wow.
So what do you think, I guess before that, what do you think your next destination is going to be?
Other than the inn?
If the inn is your destination, then that is completely fine.
Morgan wants to follow. Morgan wants to follow whatever this is immediately, trying to figure out where everybody is.
I mean,
I think the more time we waste,
I just don't know.
I just think the sooner we can, like, I mean, we know the general. They're probably at the cave where this all began.
The cave in Yogwall, 3 days away?
Yeah. Or at least they're on their way there. I just think if we wait too long, then maybe the kidnapped people
die.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, is the plan to take the snowmobile and gear up and start looking for Hermanthines?
I think so.
I mean, that would be what Morgan will do. She could be talked out of it if people can give her a good plan.
I mean, I'm right there with you.
Okay. Morgan
I don't
is...
disagree. I just don't know. Because they fucking fly, we don't have tracks.
Yeah, but they headed in that direction.
Yeah.
And a lot of it seems to be connected. The journal talked about, I guess, what was it about right before he disappeared is when Samuel started acting weird.
Yeah.
And all that. So I just feel like right now that's our best and only real lead, unless there's something I missed here in the last 30 minutes while I was slightly preoccupied.
I don't think you've missed anything.
Yeah, I don't think you've missed anything really either.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so Morgan wants to follow them and try to save people if they can.
Okay, makes sense. All right. Well, in that case, I guess we'll start out by asking Morgan, how are you feeling?
Not very happy. She's determined, I would think. Determined.
Fair.
And feeling a little guilty.
Thicket, how are you feeling?
Not the greatest. Things aren't looking too good. But you know, he's determined. He's just gonna swallow those bad feelings, turn them off. Just try to stick through it all with a smile on his face.
Fair enough. And what a gorgeous little smile it is.
Yes,
what a
yes,
gorgeous
indeed.
little smile it is.
Yes, because fucking Hero Forge
It looks
is.
like you're about to, light your head on fire.
I was trying to make a relax, he's just vibing with his
He's
hands
doing
behind
the
his
anime
head.
pose.
Oh God, no, not the anime. Oh no, no.
Bastion, how are you feeling?
Well, the one person that she cares about probably most in the world, is missing. So that's great. Her heart is taking physical revenge. And there's so many more of the horrible baby creatures than she could have ever anticipated. So I think, not good.
Fair. And how are we all feeling as players?
I'm intrigued.
I am too.
Cameron, I don't want to wait 2 weeks. I just want you to tell me what the fuck is going on.
I know. I really want to know what's going
but
on.
where's the fun in that?
I don't care.
Yeah.
Tell me what's happening.
We want to give a special shout out to our first member on Buy Me a Coffee, Jane Meyer. Thank you so much for your support, Jane. It really means the world.